The legality of the newly established Presidential Taskforce on Forensic Debt Audit is in question after the Law Society of Kenya declined to be part of the task force, stating that the mandate to audit public debt squarely rests with the Office of the Auditor-General. Seth Olale reports that the task force faces even more scrutiny as the High Court is expected to deliver judgment on whether the National Treasury should be compelled to disclose the status of the country's debt situation, including loan agreements involving international lenders in a case filed by the Kenya Human Rights Commission in the year 2022.
Barely a day after President William Ruto established an independent task force to carry out a comprehensive audit of the country's public debt, which stood at 10.3 trillion shillings as of March 2024, the team faces legality questions. The Law Society of Kenya has declined to be part of the Presidential Task Force on Forensic Audit of Public Debt, stating that the mandate to audit public debt rests with the Office of the Auditor-General. In a statement issued by the Society's Chief Executive Officer, Florence Muturi, LSK terms the establishment of the task force unconstitutional. Muturi says that Article 226 of the Constitution provides that the accounts of all governments and state organs must be audited by the Auditor-General. She goes on to assert that neither the lawyers' body president, Faith Odhiambo, nor any of its members shall take up appointments or participate in the Presidential Task Force on Forensic Audit of Public Debt. The task force was appointed on Friday, the 5th of July, by the President in response to demands by youthful protesters to address the issues of public resources and their prudent use. LSK further advises the President to refrain from usurping the constitutional powers of the Auditor-General through executive orders and allow the Auditor-General to perform constitutional duties. The lawyers' body point out that the Office of the Public Debt Management, headed by a Director General at the Treasury and funded by public money, should provide details of public debt to the Auditor-General for forensic audit. And that is not all. In addition to the questions raised by LSK, a case filed by the High Court before Judge Lawrence Mugambi is expected to yield judgment on the 24th of September 2024.
For leadership transformation.
KHRC sought answers as to whether the National Treasury should be compelled to disclose the status of the country's debt situation, including loan agreements involving international lenders.
The matter in court stems from a letter that was addressed to the CS Treasury then, Ukuri Atani, and we wanted a declaration of the debt portfolio of the country.
In the case, which also has LSK and Katiba Institute as interested parties, the petitioners, the Kenya Human Rights Commission, and Wanjiru Gikono sued the Attorney General and Treasury Cabinet Secretary for failing to avail information relating to sovereign bonds floated for and on behalf of Kenya, as well as contracts signed between Kenya and other states in the past 9 years by the National Executive.
What have you borrowed? What has been the expenditure? And the question is broad. We are asking about debt borrowed from financial institutions, borrowed bilaterally from countries, and even the bonds that have been taken up on behalf of Kenya.
According to the National Treasury and the Central Bank of Kenya, the country's public debt stood at 10.3 trillion shillings as of March 2024, with concerns raised about the country's use of the lion's share of its revenue to offset debt. Seth Olale, Citizen TV.